me to do? I hope you're doing fine, 'cause it's Q&A time again. Hello world, how's it going? Hope you guys are all doing great. If not, as always, I hope it gets better for you. So welcome to another Friday Night Live Q&A, where I'll get you guys settled here, where you can ask the community and I questions on keeping aquarium fish, shrimp, and or plants. Mind the tank here is a little dirty, but hopefully we get the light to change here. Let me do one thing. Hold on. Real fast, like only take a second. There we go. See what that does. Nope, that didn't do nothing. Anyways, but hello everybody in the chat. Great to see y'all. Hello, hello, hello. And yeah, let some of you guys roll in here. It's kind of slow rolling tonight. I can imagine with all this nice weather, there's fun things to do. Actually, here, let me do this. There we go. Oh man, that's a huge difference. Can you see how that light just transitioned? Oh, that's huge. Because these guys are absolutely beautiful. Now, I've been out in the backyard working a lot, so that's why the glass isn't getting clean. But man, they're still definitely very beautiful. So if you guys got questions, that's what we're here for. If not, then I will ramble on. And you are welcome, Carrie Habercorn. Thank you so much for all your support lately. It's been absolutely awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Carrie. And I'm glad you got it, and I hope you are happy with it. Well, you're welcome, Susan. Glad to know that's your favorite tank. One of my favorite tanks, too. It's so hard to pick a favorite tank in here. Pretty much impossible. Alright, well thank you, Kenyu, for stopping by, hitting the like button. Appreciate that. Finn Wiggles, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, reminding me to hit that live chat, and thank you, because I was not in live chat at all. I was still in top chat. That's good to know. Thank you, Finn Wiggles, again for the awesome support. Hope you're doing great. Kay Walker says, have you adjusted your chat? Nope, I did now though. Sarge's Aquatics, have you ever thought about getting newts again? I have, and I do still have the tank set up for them here, which would be perfect. It's really, really cool. It's at my girlfriend's desk because she works from home now. See, there's hydrocotyle in there, some rocks, some driftwood, nice little slope, Dirty Lake slope. Now, if I would have just wiped this glass clean, it would look absolutely amazing in there. But yeah, eventually I would love to get some newts for that, but that's kind of down on the list for things to do. Hopefully here by next year I could get into that so I could do it properly, because I would like to breed them. And I did love those noob-crested newts. Secret history, living in your aquarium. What is the meaning of life? Oh, and do you know what you're doing your speech on in Portland in October? So I'll probably be talking about ponds and also the relation within aquariums. So it'll be like a whole pondarium kind of speech. Talk about Mother Nature and the whole connection with her. And as far as the meaning of life is to live, create, be your own being, find yourself, trust yourself, rely within yourself so you can help others. And yeah, just live it to its fullest and best that you can and enjoy it. Craig Broderick says, good day, mate. What are you drinking tonight? I'm on the water tonight. Been working hard outside, so it's about all my body wants is water. But man, it is looking amazing out there. Like, I'm taking my time with it and really, really doing it right. And that pond on the bottom is about to get even bigger, which is going to be sweet. Because in my mind, I just keep expanding it. Kay Walker, thank you so much for posting up my link. You mods are the best. I could never thank you mods enough as well for all that you do for me. putting up my posts. Even though you guys don't have to, you guys still do, which is absolutely amazing. And Kaylor's Aquatics and Exotics, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says Aqua Malik sent us. Well, thank you, Aqua Malik, for sending your clan here over to my live stream. And thank you so much, Kaylor's Aquatics and Exotics, for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate you, Bob. Thank you, thank you. And Chris Pinto throwing down the $10 super chat for the Yo Bro-tato. My brother, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Chris, and hope you're doing well, bro. Thank you, thank you. Do I carry guppies? I carry all kinds of guppies, and I don't just carry regular guppies either. Like, I've gone around and collected from collections of collections and IFGA competitions and stuff like that. I got some guppies you'll never get anywhere. Well, maybe now some of them you can start getting because they are starting to leak out. I'm still holding on to some too, though. Hee hee hee. Soon, whenever I get time. Guys, just hope this backyard gets done sooner than later. This rain has been slowing me down, but I've still been out there trying to kick its butt. Okay, so if you do have a question, it's always great to put a question behind it, but I did pick this up because it seemed like a question for him. Dalton Novak says the shrimps in my tank have been doing great, have over 100, but the question is, do I need to add shrimp from a different tank for the gene pool of the shrimp in the tank? So, I think after some years it is good to mix up the blood. It's not absolutely necessary. Like, I've still got colonies that have been going for at least 4 years or so, and I haven't seen any like real difference to it. If not, it's gotten stronger. So I don't know. A lot of people say you have to, but I don't know. Depends on if you're doing culling too, so that may play a factor as well. But I guess, I mean, if you're going to add new blood, the tricky part about adding new blood as well is making sure that you have something genetically superior enough to blend in with yours, because you don't ever want to dilute the lineage. And even sometimes I've noticed it with guppies and endlers too. If you like mix colonies together, sometimes they'll battle it out because there's new males, there's new females, and that it doesn't always tango together too well. GameZar says, I'm in the market for guppies. Anyone have any recommendations? Have you got some at LRB? So I do, and if you go into my special buy section of my website, that's pretty much everything in stock. It's another name for everything in stock. It's my special buy, since everyday low prices, you know? Since everything's homegrown, homebred, and there's no middleman, I'm able to give you guys good deals. GK Aquatics says, can I keep a Betta in 82 degrees with a Discus? Since a Discus is a cichlid, more than likely that Betta is going to get destroyed at one point or the other. Temp-wise, you're alright for either or. Now, some people may disagree with me on this, but I've kept Discus at 76 or so just fine. It's just warmer temperatures really grow out Discus fast, and they do like it warm, but you should be alright at 82. Just don't mix them together. That's just a disaster waiting to happen. There may be that rare case that you could get away with it, but that's a gamble, huge gamble. Pete the Greek says, what do you think is more stable at buffering the water longer for in a 150 gallon? Crushed coral or crushed oyster shells? Love your show, thank you. Well, that also depends on the dissolving rate that you want out of it. So as it breaks down with that crushed coral, you're going to get more into the water column, and that acidity is going to affect that a lot easier than it will that crushed oyster shell. So saying this, you're not going to get the broken down mineralization capacity or the higher levels of mineralization within your water with the crushed oysters as you would with the crushed coral. So you're going to get a much more higher rating from the crushed coral probably than you would the oyster shells. But you would probably get longer longevity from the oyster shells. So hope that helps. So it's kind of, you got to take your pros and cons there. Patrick Callahan says, what did you do with the background of your 125? So all it is painted black. And then there's some Luigi archaeata and algae on the glass. Gives it that textured look. I am all over on this scrolling. Hold on a second. Melissa Foster's. Thank you so much, Melissa. Melissa Foster for the $15 super chat says, question, started a rainbow tank. All was well, but I've noticed a few white spots on their mouth. Advice. Another great shipment today at LRB Aquatics. Beautiful pond guppies. Well, thank you, Melissa, for your awesome continued support. And glad you are very happy with your pond guppies. And as far as the white spots on their mouths, very common. So I would not freak out. I would not do anything about it. What happens is they like to battle and wrestle a lot, especially the males, to where they like, or even pick at stuff, and they don't care about their nose or their snout, and they'll just jam it up sometimes, and it'll get white, and sometimes you'll even see a flappy thing on their lip from them doing it too much. It's just part of their nature. Let's see. Let me get onto some of these rainbow fish. That way I can show you, because I know there's like these upper tours. I mostly got males in there. The eight's got a little white in there. A little bit of white. You can barely see it, but you can see how some of their noses are just dented in. Like the biggest fish here, he's like the alpha male of the whole tank. Look at his nose from being smashed and putting out his dominance. It's crazy. Now there's some girl in here. She is super thick. Where's she at? Like, I mean, those are kind of thick, but I wanted to show you guys this. Oh yeah, this goldie-eyed Decay female. She's about yay big. Come on, turn around. Turn to the side. Look how thick that fish is. It's crazy. These things are monsters. Jeez. They're hungry too. All right. Let's see. I don't even know. Okay. Anyway, but Melissa, thank you so much for the super chat, and hopefully that should help you out. Nothing to worry about. And Melissa Foster, thank you again for the $5 super chat. Holy cow. Says, thank you, Lucas. Well, thank you. You're absolutely awesome. Stay awesome. Jeez. It's a beautiful thing. Soul Synapse says, also, how important is RO water? Is dechlorinator adequate? So, before you use a RO unit, you should be dechlorinating your water. Because what will happen is that chlorine, chloramine, and stuff will just absolutely destroy your RO, your resin, and your machine and everything. So it's good to put a carbon block or some kind of source of carbon. You can use a barrel, whatever, fill it up with carbon pellets, run your water through it first, and that'll help dechlorinate it, or you could just use dechlor, which is kind of a pain if you're going to try to use it through I don't know how your system is, if you're tubbing it or if it's all inline. How important is RO? RO is not necessarily that important, but it does depend on what you're keeping. And it also does help certain things. Now, the reason why people lean towards RO water is because of its abilities. As we were talking about with the oyster shells and the crushed coral, the acidity of that RO will break that mineralization down. So with planted aquariums, the more of that mineralization that you can break down into a smaller molecular scale, to where the plants can easier uptake it, then you get much more benefit from your fertilization and everything within your aquarium. Now, there is a tricky side to it because beneficial bacteria and stuff has troubles with really soft acidic water. So some fish, they just can't handle it because there's not enough biofilm. It does help with bacterials and funguses as far as like negative ones that could cause problems as well. That acidity can also help with that. And with the harder water, that kind of stuff can thrive off of and eat off of. And then also with the harder water, and when I'm talking harder water, I'm talking about 300, 400 TDS. I do not chase pH. pH is a goose chase, goes off per hydrogen. If you really want to do it right, get a TDS meter if you're trying to figure out what your water is. And that'll give you a total dissolved reading, whereas 200 is neutral, anything above it is hard, and anything below it is acidic. But yeah, that RO water will help break down your mineralization for awesome planet aquariums. And really, once you understand that, like it becomes a lot easier with keeping aquariums too. And not freaking out about what kind of water you have, and embracing the water you have. The less you have to mess with your water, the better. Why are saltwater fish so much prettier than freshwater? I think beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Like, yeah, there's some really vibrant, fluorescent saltwater fish, but as far as when it comes to freshwater, there's so many different types of beauty, you know. It's not all just like these rainbow fish, for instance. They can change color and all kinds of cool stuff. They have different sheens, like the guppies, the discus. Some of them are super bright. Just even like the Philippine blue angelfish, the natural colors that they can get. Like, yeah, it's not popping in your face, like gonna blind you, but definitely beauty to them. Like even like a Synodontis catfish where it's black and white, it's just cool. So I guess that all depends on perspective. Thank you again, K Walker, for posting out the links. Let's see, scrolling for questions, looking for them. Like I mentioned, always throw out a question mark. Looks like you guys are talking about the kind of water that you drink, which is kind of interesting too, because you do have to think about the gut biome and its pH and everything kind of in the same fashion, where you've got to live in a balance. You don't go acidic one way fully, and you don't go alkalytic one way fully. There's everything selling you under the sun to do either or. But the trick is to find the median balance. So let's say you're eating a bunch of alkalytic food, you eventually have to start eating some acidic food, and your brain will naturally start thinking about that, and it'll help you out. But more you understand that and can do it yourself, then you know to go acidic, alkalytic, and then it'll stay more balanced for you. Same with the water you drink. I know it's a little off topic, but it's kind of on topic as well. It's that balance. Same with aquariums. Now, like I said, a lot of fish can't handle soft, can't handle hard, either or. But if you find the balance of the hardness of an aquarium, the TDS around 200, most everything can live in that. I really don't know anything that would have a problem with that. Now, some may not breed and may not trigger their breeding because, like a sparkling gourami who's used to like crazy acidic water for breeding, it's a little different for eggs because those eggshells will need that acidity to help break down the eggs. So that's why a lot of people have problems breeding soft water fish in harder waters, because there's nothing to break off that calcium or lime or whatever can build up onto the eggshell. But if you add that acidity to it, then it breaks right up. T-Shot says, hey Lucas, the leaves on my Anubias turn dark brown black but doesn't die and the plant continues to put out new growth. Could that be deficiency or possibly algae? So more than likely that could just be, if it doesn't die, if it's dark brown, could be either blackbeard algae if it's like a hairy fluffy tuft. But if it's like within the leaves and you're getting necrosis within the leaves, then it could be just part of its phase, just like trees have dying limbs, plants have dying leaves, as they phase into different levels of life. It could be that. And when it comes to keeping aquariums, like the real hardcore aquascapers would trim that off. That way everything could go on to the new growth. It doesn't have to struggle to kind of keep that one going. And it won't break down in your aquarium, because as that kind of stuff does break down in your aquarium, then it can turn into algae and you will have algae issues. Well, Nurse Becca, is glad to see you in here. Sorry to hear you're overworked, but glad to see you made it. Let's see. Scrolling. Oh, I about missed it. Pete the Greek, thank you so much, Pete the Greek, for the $5 super chat. Says, what can you tell me about denison barbs? I saw one that was bright yellow and red. So yeah, there's like this xanthic form or something of the denison barb, denisoni. And then you had the regular form, but it's definitely overfished. But luckily the hobby is starting to breed some out with hormones and stuff. But they come from India. They like the flow. They're definitely a flow kind of fish. You can't keep them in communities. They're peaceful. But honestly, if I were to keep them, like, they're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fish. But to put them in anything less than a 125, in my opinion, does not do them any justice. Because they are built to move. And they are absolutely beautiful when they do move too. I mean, granted, they would chill in a 40-gallon and whatnot. I see it all over the place where people keep them just because they are so beautiful. But I wish I could see them keeping them in bigger habitats. But absolutely love that fish. Comes from the same waters as my mascara barbs, my Dockensia similis that I got at my garage. I don't know if you're familiar with those. That's where I did my last Friday night. That's the fish that was behind me. What was the last fish you bred? Like on purpose? If you go on purpose, I don't know. Probably some rainbow fish. Or like these half-beaks just breed by themselves. I had some black neons just randomly breed. Synodontis randomly breed. Haven't had any like real controlled breeding for quite some time. Besides a couple projects that I have that I've mixed around. Here, whenever I get everything settled into the fish room and I have more of the proper facilities to facilitate my more massive breeding that I would love to do and I plan on doing, then it's going to be on like Donkey Kong for sure. Thank you, Kay Walker. You're so awesome tonight. Telling everybody to hit the like if you're enjoying that. That was like so professional. Ron Harryman says, what do you do for ammonia spike? Usually I don't do anything. My plants and Mother Nature take care of it. That's what algae's for. That's what that beneficial bacteria is for. That's what that plants are for. So I don't ever have to deal with it. But more than likely, like say you keep more of a sterile environment and something dies in there, you're gonna get an ammonia spike, or you got big fish peeing a lot and not changing the water, you're gonna get an ammonia spike. But if you got a decent amount of that mulm, that brown goodness, that detritus, that dirty stuff that we clean out of our filter, as long as you got a good cake base of that within your aquarium and a substrate, you're gold. Same with plants. Plants absolutely love ammonia. That's why I recommend planted tanks to anybody. Now I know it's not always easiest when you have, say, cichlids or something like that. It could be more of a challenge, but it's not impossible, because there are a lot of plants out there that they can't destroy as fast, or if you have enough mass and grow it out and then put it in there, then they just end up really trimming it for you. Now Anubiuses are good for that. Fuchsias, they're kind of slow growers. Now I don't know how water sprite would be. I wonder how some Bacopas, I don't have a lot of practice into those type of plants, so let's ask in the comments if you guys got cichlids and you got a plant that's been working for you, and I'm talking about at least a 4 to 6 inch cichlid or Oscars or something. You got a plant in there that's working for you that they haven't munched on, let me know. I think that'll be interesting. And I'll try to keep my eye out for it. And sorry if I'm missing anybody's questions. I see a ton of them rolling out now. But I will try my best to get here. But holy moly, Nurse Beckus, my goodness. They may be overworking you, but they may be paying you very good. But anyways, I appreciate you sharing and for the support. My goodness, $50 super chat. I hope you get your rest, Nurse Beckus. I would hope that regardless of the super chat, but thank you. That is big time. And Danikin Aquatics, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, what up, Lucas? Looking forward to Fishtoberfest, bro. Yeah, so I got your voicemail about Fishtoberfest, which I will be up in Portland giving a talk there at the Fishtoberfest. And as well as I meant to call you back, but I need to solidify with Sarah kind of like time and date and what's going on. But I was hoping to maybe come up, and that Friday we could probably do a Friday night live from your place, since you have so many awesome tanks, and I would love to have your double tanks in the backdrop of a Friday night live Q&A. And you got so many different kinds of fish. I think that would be a cool setup. So we'll talk about that as well here as time goes by. But thank you so much, Danikin Aquatics. Appreciate you, bro. And Lady Danny. Let's see. Oh, that's hilarious. Flacco's Garden says, I prefer Barbs to Karens. Oh, that has got to go on a t-shirt. That has got to go on a t-shirt. That is the funniest thing ever. Hold on, I gotta snap a pic. I'm sorry, Flacco's Garden. I don't know if I'll ever put that on a t-shirt, but if somebody doesn't do it, I'm gonna do it. That is too funny. Leon says, fish pee, did I hear that correctly? So they do. They exchange a lot of water through themselves. They absorb it through osmosis within their skin and all kinds of other stuff, through their gills, and they're taking drinks of water all day long. Scrolling. Now I saw like a whole block of questions. Once again, sorry if I'm missing your guys' questions. Now it seems like I've totally lost it. Spooner Milk, hope I got that right, says, do you still call your wild types from your scriddle tank? I do if I see them, but not very often do I see them. And it depends on what color they are. If they got like that green and blue kind of going in them, some get like this orangeness going in them. I think as long as you have like a variety of color within your cold tank that you're trying to create, you don't end up with a bunch of wilds. But like, say if you just throw in some yellows and reds together, more than likely you're going to get a bunch of wilds. But if you add some blue in there, or just blue and reds, then you're going to start getting down some purple and crazy lineage. So that also has an effect as well. Well, thank you, K Walker. I really, really appreciate you, K. Soul Snap says, how do you get away with lack of mechanical filtration? I don't know. I think part of it has to do with the types of fish. They're used to it. A lot of these fish are like creek, river fish. Sometimes they have low periods and they're used to living in stagnant water. Like, it's nothing for them. They're used to it. Now these rainbows, they do have, you don't see it, but there is a pump in here actually. So it's very minimal within here. But these guys without a pump, as big as they are and how many there is in here, would have problems with the oxygen level if I didn't have this going. But this is the only tank that has one hidden. That's just because, I don't know, I was trying something different. But it breaks up the water a little bit up there, but you don't really see any oxygen really flowing through. But at night, what the problem will be is if you don't have that running at night, the plants will absorb that oxygen out of the water. And then in the morning, you would see them kind of gasping for air, or you'd see them up towards the top getting their air that way. So, yeah, it was kind of needed a little bit of water flow. It's crazy how just the slightest water flow does it. Yeah, I know, little pump. It is actually a little pump. It's a Odyssey, well, yeah, it is a 250, EX 250. It's just there's this foam, which that's just holding beneficial bacteria. And it actually helps filter out the excess debris and stuff. This thing was full of algae, just completely full of algae. Like, it was about to be, like, non-reversible. Like, all the plants were about to be algae. But just putting on that filter and cleaning it up, cleaning out the debris out of the aquarium, goes a long way with taking care of that kind of algae after much neglect. And that hasn't had a full water change in like forever. Some of these tanks, I'm probably like, oh, it's insane how much I really get away with in this fish room. How much, it ain't even what I get away with. I should really say it's insane how Mother Nature can really take care of herself compared to the perspectives that we are taught. And I guess that's why I'm here doing Q&As for you guys, to help you guys with these kind of perspectives and to show you guys what has transpired. And that's why I love the questions. I love being asked the questions to be able to share it. Because I can't always think about where to put it in a video, this, that, and other. Now, granted, I do have tons of titles and lists for you guys I want to do, but getting there anyways, I could ramble on about that forever. But Lars K, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you, Lars, and always great to see you. Hope you're having a great Friday, and hope you have a great weekend. Thank you, brother. And once again, sorry if I missed your guys' question. CNasty1985 says, what's a good plant that doesn't need a lot of light but can thrive for my piranhas? They hate light. So Vallisneria is a really good plant, and I've seen them keep it in public aquariums with huge schools of piranhas. So I don't know how big your tank is, but maybe look into the jungle val or any of the Vallisneria species. The tiger, the corkscrew, the regular, Americana, the jungle, it all grows the same. It's got to be one of the easiest to grow plants. I literally grow that plant underneath other plants. Like, I got plants growing in levels at this point. Crypts also are very not as light demanding. I don't know how the piranhas will treat that, but that could be something you can try. Anubiuses, they like low light. Pylomoss may be a good option. Any kind of Java fern, low light. And I mean, like, pretty much any of those ferns are low light. Jason, I don't know if any that really demand. Maybe the lace fern. Jason Wilson says, do you only cull the adult shrimp? like juvenile to adult. It depends on when I see them, but yeah, for the most part. Now, if I'm in like a blue colony or something like that, and I see that one's got some red it's trying to throw out, like definitely that one's getting cold and put into the cold tank. Can we see you feed them? Yes, towards the end I will feed them. If I tease them now with a little bit of food, they'll probably just start splashing me and stuff. So I'll have to feed them. Let's see. Kaylor's Aquatics and Exotics. Thank you again, Bob. So awesome of you. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says, keep it up. Thank you, brother. Love the motivation. Finn Wiggles says, I have your super reds and pumpkins together, and the offsprings are paprika colored. Is this a washed out red or enhanced orange? I love this color. So there is like this blend between an orange and a red, and I've seen it, and it is quite interesting. So I don't know what you would call it, but yeah, I mean, they definitely blend into like an orange and red. It's wild looking. It's just, I don't know if anybody's ever tried to stabilize, and honestly, there hasn't been much talk about that, and I think you're the first person that's actually said that to me. But I have seen it a lot. I wish I had more time for the shrimp, and I'm definitely planning on making the guest bedroom into more of a facilitated and controlled breeding facility here soon. Chubby Guppy, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Chubby Guppy, great to see you in here, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And holy cow, Big D's Aquatics coming out with a $50 super chat. My dude, Big D. Thank you so much once again for the super huge support. It says, when using RO water in a shrimp tank, what minerals do you recommend? I use salty shrimp, GH, and KH. Plus, is that sufficient enough? So, what I would use is, well, let me here switch. Just flip over real quick. Boom, maybe. Let's see, into my mineral section. I think I got some down here. Let's see, oh yeah, GH booster. So this is what I use. I use the GH booster, so there's no KH in there. So if you're doing Caradinia shrimp, you want just GH. You don't want any KH. Now, if you're doing Neocaridinias, then you do want that KH in there. This is what I use. I don't like the salty shrimp. I don't like the other ones. They're overpriced in my opinion. I think this is like $6, $7 a pound. You get a ton of it. Lasts you a lot longer than that overpriced stuff. And yeah, if you're doing Caridinias, just get the GH. You don't want KH if you're trying to breed your Caridinia shrimp. Let's see. But thank you, Big D, for that question. Hopefully that will help save you some money because the price comparison is huge. And I'm not sure what type of shrimp you're keeping, but if you are keeping Caridinia, it's good to know that they don't like KH. Like it can kill them. Chris, Tony, have you heard of too frequent water changes causing ring of death? Not too frequent water changes. Usually people blame it for not enough water changes. So yeah, I don't know about that. Christopher Milk. But there is, I mean, doing too frequent water changes, if they're big water changes, can be a problem. Now, if you're doing frequent water changes, but it's a little bit at a time, that's not a bad thing. But when you're breaking up the cycle of your beneficial bacteria and the way that it evolves, as the new water comes in, the old water circulates and all that, as long as it's staying naturally beneficial to where all the good stuff in there, the dirty, kind of like, I don't know what people would consider dirty, I don't know, the biofilm, what would you call it, the essence of Mother Nature is in there, then you're good. And dang, I saw, oh, there it is. Christopher McAlpin says, if my tank TDS is 153 ppm, should increase it? If so, Blue Dream Shrimp. So, with the Blue Dream Neocaridina, so you're in the ideal range for a Caridina shrimp tank. Now, here's the kicker. What is the TDS? So TDS can be GH and KH. So this is where you have to kind of further break down a GH and a KH test to understand which you're working with. Now, as long as there's some KH in there, that acidity is breaking up that mineralization. And you can add minerals into it, like crushed coral's great, to where they can graze on and eat off that because the acidity is breaking it down. They could absorb it by eating it. So you can keep shrimp towards those, the Neocaridina shrimp towards those lower TDSs, as long as it's got your GH and KH in there. But it does help, especially for numbers and quantity, to harden that up for the Neocaridinas. Which that GH booster can help a lot. But yeah, TDS is pretty much your general hardness and kinetic hardness, which is your pH, because pH is just, it's a goose chase, like I said. But if you can really break that down, and then once you get your GH and KH and understand that, then you kind of know where your TDS will be. Chris, Tony, the problem is with the GH and KH tests is, I don't know if a really good one. They all the little droppers, and it's hard to read the colors, in my opinion. I have not seen anybody mention any plants yet about cichlids. Like, I'm trying to speed read the best I can here. Kurt Byers says, I have hard water with my calcium and iron. Anubias grow good, and dwarf aquarium lily. Any others you would suggest? So yeah, some plants absolutely love all that calcium and iron. Pretty much anything on my website, like that would be an easier way for you to see a catalog of types of plants that you can keep in those, that situation. Hard water, calcium, iron, that's my water all day long. Same, yeah. Dwarf sad is a great one. Do you keep that with your cichlids, or are you just saying that for the hard water? If so, yeah, definitely hard water dwarf sag likes. And later, Alex follows me as far as live streaming here. So here in like 15 minutes or so, Alex will be streaming. You guys don't get enough. And I am at the bottom, so if you got a question, now is the time to ask that question so I see it. There you go. Matthew Clayton was fast. Says, is my hard water the reason I can't grow healthy swords? Yeah, potentially. Now, what'll happen is swords really do like the more acidic water because they love that mineralization being broken down, and they love to absorb it through their leaves and roots. And if the water is too hard, it can actually grow calcium on the leaves. Like my water, if I just use my straight hard tap water, it will grow deposits on top of the leaves to where it almost fossilizes the leaves. Now if I cut that down with some RO, that RO will break down all that fossilized material, calcium, lime, whatever, that's stuck onto the leaves, and then the plant will start growing better. But yeah, it definitely helps to soften up your swords. Red Tiger Lotus is a great one for hard water. Yes, very true. Do guppies like TDS over 500 TDS? Yes, so guppies love it. They love it. They love the really hard water. I've seen them in 1400 TDS living out in a wild creek in the island of St. John, the Virgin Islands. It's crazy. And they actually need their KH and GH. You keep guppies in a soft environment, it becomes more problematic. Especially if you got big colonies. Lori A99, can a mono shrimp be kept safely with yo-yo loaches? They're both bottom dwellers. Yo-yo loaches may see the monos as a snack, but at the same time, the monos can snap back. I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't risk it. Unless you don't mind that each one's gonna, one or another is gonna be a snack at some point, probably. Can you keep pea puffers with ember tetras? I wouldn't recommend it. To be honest, pea puffers need their own community tank. They're just ornery, in my experience, and I've tried them so many times. Rarely will people have success with them in a community tank or with others. The Chubby Guppy says, Lucas, are you mixing your hard to RODI 2-to-1 or what ratio? So really it's just kind of all over the place. I'm just wing dinging things. You know, kind of like when a chef gets a real old and they have like the recipes out the window. You're not even keeping a recipe anymore. You're just like, okay, I need to splash the salt here, a little bit of pepper there. Kind of read the tank a bit to see what I need. And since everything's not controlled right now, like sometimes I'll just add some hard water and then wait a month and then I'll go with RO water next, depending on the tank as well and what's inside of the tank, like the substrate, the rock, if it doesn't have extra rock, how I've been keeping it, the plants, how many plants, because the plants can absorb a lot of that content too over time. So say you have a heavily planted tank with Brazilian pennywort or something growing crazy out of control and it's just like absorbing everything and you haven't added any hard water for a while, it's been like 6 months since you changed the water, it's a 10-gallon, it could drop that TDS pretty low. It's kind of interesting. Contra soil, has anyone heard of this substrate or am I spelling it wrong? I think it is one of those acidic soils. I don't know if I had a bag or not before. Seems real familiar. Stephen True Seeker says, do you dose your aquatic plants? Since I'm not really doing water changes or much with the aquariums, I like lazy dose them, so I'll dose like every few days or so. But say if I was doing water changes, like really moving the water around, I'd stay more on the game. But that, and since I can't really prune and take care of all the plants like I need to be, then I also try to grow the plants slow. So you can control the growth of your plants by how you're feeding them as well. Jason Wilson says, do you think it is safe to use the runoff from my house's AC as RO water? I honestly wouldn't. I've tried my dehumidifier water. You know, it's not the best. It's not the best. There could be things in that that could be problematic that is just not worth the risk, I would think. Sunset Jen says, Lucas, my Pygmy Corey's matin filter pump broke 10 days ago. What do I need to look out for to know that they are okay, please? So Pygmy Corey's, I got those in my tanks with no filter at all, no current, anything. They do not care. I've got them in a 75 with catfish and rainbow fish and placos and some other things, killifish all together, and no filter and just covered with Brazilian pennywort. They will be fine. And if you want to breed those little guys, if they're by themselves, give them a nice little rock pile. You'd be surprised how easy those can be to breed. So you should be good with that, no worries. And that'll actually create a opportunity for infusoria, cyclops, and other microscopic things to start growing as well and breeding off more. So don't get freaked out about those little critters from after your pump breaks, because that'll actually be little good snacks for your pygmy cories and possibly their babies. Let's see, Kyle Knudsen says, what is your method of getting rid of planaria in a shrimp only tank? So I use the Pancure C dog dewormer, 0.1 grams per 10 gallons. Wait 72 hours, do a 25% water change, and then repeat the cycle 3 times to 4 times, depending on if you still see them or not. I like to go, some people say 2, but I like to go 3 or 4 because some planaria is not as easy to kill as other planaria. A Pancure C dog dewormer, 0.1 grams per 10 gallons. And SC Aquatics, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. That's huge. It says, years later, I still don't have a signed shirt for my wall. How's it going? It says SC Aquatics. Well, my brother, you got to get that signed shirt. What's up? We got to get you that. I hope you're doing well, my friend. And thank you so much for the super chat. Hit me up. We'll talk. It's been a while. If you still got my number. But thank you so much, my brother, for that. I appreciate it. Any tips on breeding pea puffers? Trying moss beds in a species-only tank. So I think you're on the right track. I do believe they like the softer water when it comes to breeding. I personally have not done it myself, but I've heard people of breeding them out in like horse troughs, just full of algae and moss and other stuff. But I'm guessing that rain, that soft water from the rain, has definitely helped them with that. Mains, tails, furs, and fins says, Lucas, guess what? I finally got blue Gularis eggs, only 7, but that was just pulled one time. Hopefully they will keep going. Well, I hope they keep going for you too. That is awesome. Great news to hear. And I meant to respond to your email as well, as far as getting on a live stream, as you asked me. It's just my time has been so tough with the build and everything going on. I can't commit to anything. Eugene Paveljack says, Ick, how to cure. So depending on your fish, now you could actually kill ick with temperature. If you go up above 96 degrees for a month, now it's going to be hot, it's going to be warm, you can kill ick. I think it's 96 or 86. I should probably Google that, because I'm not 100% sure what the temperature is, because it's been forever since I've done it. But you can do it with the temperature. You can kill it. Or I like to use Ruby Reef Kick Ick in combination with Rally. But you can kill it from just doing the heat. That's what I do now, but I used to use the Ruby Reef. You gotta trust that intuition to look for that clairvoyance. It's a good attribute to understand. Ron Harriman says, did you say peat moss raises acidity? So, peat moss doesn't really raise the acidity. Well, I guess it does, sort of. But yeah, it adds more acidity to your water column. That's why you see like a lot of the potting soil is not really soil. A lot of it's just peat moss. And that's to help those plants that you use at home to break down those minerals with the acidity. as people constantly use their hard tap water to feed their potted plants. Sam, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Super appreciate you, Sam. That is awesome of you. Throwing up the yippee sticker. Thank you so much, Sam. And yes, Nurse Becca, it's great seeing you. Oh man, don't talk about tacos. Sounds really good right now. How do you get a signed shirt? I don't know. Oh man, look what you started, SC Aquatics. You see, he doesn't live far from me, so he could get one. Or he can meet me at Aquashella. I guess the best place is to catch me with at one of these Aquashellas or something. Or talk to your club and have them fly me in for a talk or something. Besides that, I don't have like shirts on demand. They have to go through Teespring, so I don't have it like that. Like, fish keeping's my thing. Not so much like the business building and like creating an empire. Like, yeah, creating an empire in a different way, but I'm more of like an artist as far as like the whole hobby goes, instead of like trying to push product and create income. I guess income's good. I gotta create that to do the projects, but there's balance. Let me just say that. Finn Wiggles, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Finn Wiggles. You are so awesome. Throwing out the super sticker. Thank you. Okay, now. Well, Eric Salyer, welcome back to this channel. Says been over a year since I've been here. It's crazy. I hope you've had a good year. Howard McCormick says, can I feed mosquito larvae to my fish? Yeah, definitely. They love that stuff. Oh, man. You ever seen a fish go crazy over some food? You'll see it when you feed them some mosquito larvae. Ick X and be ick free. Yeah, I'm not a friend of ick, or a fan of Ick X myself. Tori Erpenbeck says 86 degrees for that ick. Thank you for correcting that. I didn't want to end up cooking people's fish telling them 96 degrees. Kind of seemed high. Oh, already read that. Scroll. Leo K says, hey LRB, viewer from Australia here. Well, good day, mate. Says, how often would you change your water for a Placo colony? 50 gallon. Also, what are the plants you would use to reduce ammonia? So this all depends on your schedule. Everybody's got a different schedule in life. Now you can get away with like next to no water changes, and I do that. I mean, I've got a lot of Placos I keep that have no air, no filtration, like L33s and the clown Placos, and let's see, I've got like the Starlight Placo, some other ones. But as far as like doing the water changes, if possible, it is good to get water changes done. So what I'm saying is it's not like dire straits, like, oh my god, they're going to die if I don't get their water changed in, say, 6 months. Now, it does help having a planted community to where, like you were mentioning, the ammonia, to where none of that builds up over that time of no water change. Now, if you're keeping a more sterile fish tank, you definitely got to do your water changes. And if you could do 10% a week, that's good. 25%, probably better. If you do them more frequent, even better, to where you're doing like maybe 10% twice a week. So there's options there. It's not just black and white. And of course, the more water changes you do, the more quicker they're going to grow, and probably more apt they would be to breed. Now, you don't want to do big water changes, though, unless you're trying to trigger them. Now, some need to be triggered. I don't know exactly what kind of Placo you're working with. Sometimes you can trigger them with the cold water, big cold water changes, kind of like you do Corydoras. They come from more of a mountainous region. Melissa Martin says, anyone have experience with bamboo shrimp? Water parameters and hardiness of the shrimp. So, as far as I know, they are not particular unless it's too acidic. I don't think they really care about hardness. I could be wrong, so maybe somebody will double check that. Barb and Karen shirts, right? For sure. Oh crap, I'm over an hour here. I just now saw it. I don't want to step on Alex's toes too long here. Wish I could stay on longer. I am getting kind of hungry too. Fin Wiggles. Oh. So Sunset Gin, how do you get that hydrocotyle to grow? That hydrocotyle is tricky. It actually grows real well floating. Or you can just plant it on the bottom, but... Anyways, I'm not going to stick on here too long. Oh, wait, let me feed these guys real quick. Before I hop off here, before you guys leave... We got to feed these guys. Look, they're already ready. What, this what you guys want? Oh! They like their granules. Do you guys like granules? Look at these guys. That's not a commercial for Tetra. Jeez. They owe me like a bazillion bucks now. Jeez! Come on, guys. Oh, man, this stuff's kind of gritty. I got a new can, and in the middle is like the dust. They gave me the shake of the... whatever they had. Bottom of the sack. Yum, 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 yum. They love it. Sheesh, right, Sam? They're like dogs. They remind me of dogs. Look, there's like no fish down here. Or what, you guys see me pointing down there? You think I'm throwing fish or food down over there? Usually I do feed like a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit there. That way they're not all contending here. Now if I were to constantly feed there all the time, then they would be battling more. But it helps spread aggression when you do feed them across the tank. Well, look, they're milling that up. What, you're barking and asking for food when it's all around you. When it's all around you. But alright, I gotta hop off here. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And I need to get another video out for you guys. I gotta get these fish videos going. And these koi, oh my god. Anyways, we'll have lots of stuff coming out. I thank you all for your awesome support. Have a great weekend. Until next time, everybody. Peace. Da 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 da.